So the hot sauce for today, we're going to talk about this term submissive. Submissive means someone who is ready to conform to the authority or will of others, i.e., meekly obedient or passive. This term is used a lot when referring to women. Stop.
I'm laughing. I'm laughing because I heard the term obedient and cracked up because I would never do no such thing.
Okay, so why? That's what I'm saying. So this term is used a lot by men who are like saying it's a whole thing now where men say they want a submissive woman. But then people out there are like, well, submissive means this, submissive means that. So you can be a submissive woman and still be this, that, and the other. You can still be independent and blah, blah, blah. And in my mind, like you just did, Keish, when I hear that term obedient, I'm like, so I'm supposed to do everything you say, no questions asked? Like I just do it? No, hell no.
And see, that's my problem. You just read that definition. The word means what it means. I cannot stand when people try to flip it to mean something else. It doesn't mean anything else. It means exactly what you just said. And this is why a lot of women have a problem with it, because we can try to turn it and twist it to make it this, mutual submission. No, because most men aren't about to be obedient to a woman. So it will never be mutual. That's not going to happen. So by definition alone, that's why so many women have a problem with that term and with men who want a submissive woman, because it's almost like you want a dog. Dogs are obedient, not women.
Damn.
Well, my thing too is like, in my relationship, there are certain things that I may submit to. Like, I'm not a submissive person in general. Like, I'm not just going to do what you say, no questions asked, and just be obedient. But there are certain times or certain things that happen where my husband may ask me to do something and I don't ask questions. I'm like, all right, cool, I'll do it. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's like, where do you draw the line? When a man says, I want a submissive woman, like, you talking all submissive or just submissive in certain ways, sexually, emotionally? Like, I don't know what that means.
I will speak from a single person standpoint. Y'all are married. So I'm not saying that it doesn't include y'all, but from a single person standpoint, if a man walked up to me and said, I want a submissive woman, I would, she must be over there because it ain't going to be me. If a man ever said that, I will bust out laughing just like I did the first time. Because first of all, I don't believe in that term. It doesn't even exist to me. I don't care what the Webster's dictionary say. I do not even acknowledge that term. So
this is not a real word.
It's not a real word in my world. So I don't even acknowledge it. And I know how I am as a person. Like I'm not obedient to nobody. Like yeah. I'm not, it's just, I don't know. I'm obedient to me though. I'm submissive to myself. I follow my orders because in my mind, a man is always talking about, well, let a man lead. A man can lead. How? Everywhere I done got to in my life, I done got there myself. The only place a man can lead me is either to the bedroom or to hell. So ain't no way I'm gonna let no man take me anywhere. Bedroom or to hell. And half the time he's taking me to hell. No, thank you.
But why can't men accept that? Like you said, everywhere you done been in your life, you got there yourself. So why can't men accept that and be okay with it?
I think it's a lot of men.
Yeah, a lot of men get intimidated by that. They're like, if I can't have a woman that I can't control, then I don't want her at all. And then you have some men that won't say that.
I think that men I think it's a challenge for them when they try to get women to transform into submissive role. There are plenty of women who are out there who are willing to do whatever they want them to do. They just choose not to go after those women. They want to pick at the women like me and be like, oh, well, let me see if I can turn her to be submissive. No, don't argue with me about submission. If I say you're right, Amber, if you need to accept that and move on to the woman who's willing to accept that, but they don't. Mm-hmm. They don't.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
So what do y'all think about submission, the guys? Like, what's your perspective on that? Because we see a lot in social media now about men saying that they want submissive women that do what they say, do what they want, when they want, how they want, and no talking back or anything like that. Like, what are y'all's thoughts on that?
I like it. So now I'm playing. It's a joke. I don't like it. I don't like it.
What? No ice.
Nah, so Amber's not submissive at all. So, everything I say to her, she combats. I mean, but that's cool though, because she has her own personality. I believe if you're too submissive, you don't have a personality. You're kind of like a pushover. And I don't want to push over for a wife. So,
I think we define the term submissive in a negative light. Like like I said, I don't want anybody that's gonna respond to me like a child. Not that the kids listen, but like I said, you want somebody that has their own mind and be able to hold their own. Because, like I said, if we out doing different things, I don't need her calling me every 5 minutes. Hey, can I buy this? Hey, can I do this? Hey, can I go to? I don't have time for that. But as a man or head of the household, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and you've instilled that trust and confidence, your spouse, is, kind of by default will allow you to take that lead role, and it's not an issue.
Damn.
I think no. From Elijah's perspective, I like that because there has to be trust between both of you. Like if y'all talking about something, it's not saying that, like you said, the head is always going to make the right decisions. And if your spouse doesn't agree, I'm sure she will let you know. But yeah, there has to be a trust. Or if you think about it from a team perspective, like this might not be the best decision. It might not be the most logical decision, but we're going to go and attack this as a team. Or I might not 100% agree, like, why are we going this route? But if we're on the same page, like, all right, we're going to try it. If it fails, we're going to go in as a team. Like,
We about to fail together.
But yeah, and if I'm being honest, there's a lot of things that me and her do not agree with 100%. I'm like, I don't know if we should do that. Because I'm like, for the most part, I like to look at things from a logical perspective. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. And if it doesn't make sense to me, I'm like, there is no emotion.
So
I like to look at the facts. It could be anything.
So when you're trying to say I like to look at stuff logical, it sounds like you're saying I don't look at stuff logical.
I don't.
You take things from an emotional perspective sometimes.
Well, that's playing to strengths and weaknesses. Like it's certain decisions that I'm gonna be hands off on. It ain't got nothing to do with me. So like back to what we talked about earlier. Like if it's something that involves emotion, that's all in Ashley's court. I ain't got nothing to do with it.
But if you go into it as a team and be like, all right, we're gonna do it together, then I think that's that submissiveness when it talks about one to another. Not just husband and wife, but coming to a compromise. It's more of a compromise. So.
Submissiveness. I really like to hear your perspective on what you think about that term.
I think submissiveness has to be on both parts, a man and a woman. I think it begins with the man. I think, you have to love the person the way they want to be loved. Like, love languages in a sense. Like, you have to love the person the way she wants to be loved, and you have to give 100% of who you are. But that only happens when you're, like, free. Like, when you're not afraid of what the culture says or where you're not this, where you're not locked down. And then once you do that, then she'll give 100%.
Personally, for me, I don't believe in the term. I think that you're right. It has been around for a long time. But I be on TikTok so much where like now that's like the new buzzword that's somehow resurfaced.
But what about it you don't believe in? Like what the term in general? What about the term submissives you don't believe in?
It's just something about that term that itches my ass. I just cannot deal with it at all. Like if a man is even bringing that term up, there's nothing we need to even talk about. And I don't even think he should be submitting to me either. Like I don't think of humans in that way. I just don't see why the word is even used. I mean, I know why, because it's from a biblical sense, but I don't follow the Bible, so maybe I'm good.